Okay, so welcome to the video, and you want to be a substitute teacher. Well, I'm going to give you lots of ideas of things that I've done and worked with student teachers. It might seem like a lot, but you can always go back and look at certain parts of this YouTube clip. There are a lot of sharks out there. It's a tough business trying to get in to a full-time position. But the first thing I like to do when I'm in a classroom is to introduce myself and use a little bit of humor. Kids love that. And I use a PowerPoint, and actually it's Keynote for Apple, and I just show them some slides such as what I'm going to show you now. It's always good to show your passions and things that you love, and I've done this large painting of our cat Yeti, for instance, and so I love to show the kids the different ways that I completed this painting. So find something you love, a hobby or some interest that you have, and share that with the kids. Idea number 2, lateral thinking. If you Google lateral thinking, you'll get lots of great ideas. It's just a phrase, a comment, a sentence or two, and the kids have to guess what's happening behind it, and you can only say yes, no, or it depends. It's great to raise questionnaires and good to have in your kit. Card tricks are another great way, and if you Google the 6 card trick mind reading or whatever, something like that, you'll get this one. You pick a card, then you ask the kids to think about it, and then you say you're going to remove that card. It's gone. Now, how did that happen? How did you manage to do that? Well, then you can talk to the kids about how does it work. So first ask them that question to elicit discussion, and then you'll notice in the top figure 1, figure 2, they're completely different cards. But it works really well. It's a great way to hook kids in. The third idea is Tang. I love his books. It's great for math. It's great to get kids interested. Here's one for primary-ish idea. Ask the kids to count the goldfish quickly. If you turn it on its side, you'll see it's almost like an array. Right? So it's 16. See, it's almost like an array. So you can teach kids tips and tricks on how to add these things quickly. And here's my favorite one actually with the frogs. How could you count these frogs quickly? And this is from another Tang book. And here's one where don't show them the square here, the array, but you can ask kids to count that. So it's 16 plus 3. So it's a great way to teach kids about adding. Here's a thing that I've created called Aftermaths. Let's take a look now. It's a great little piece to help kids. You blow it up to 11 by 17. I have a free sample on my website. This one here looks at front-end rounding, annexing, adding 0. So you give them this extra handout, 11 by 17, kids can share, and you've got lots of questions here. If I move over here to the other side, you can see how we've got other things here for front-end estimation. It's all explained here, and this as well is also on my website, zappel.ca, and it's free. And you can give the kids this to try out. Again, it's something great to have in your kit. There we go with a shot of the whole thing again. So lots of different things to look at, and kids love it. Picture books. So always bring in some really good solid picture books. I love Robert Munch. Here's one that I made called Everyday Math. And so I just took pictures of things in the world that have to do with math. And then you read this story such as this to the kids. I've also put these in a Keynote or PowerPoint so you can show them on a large screen to kids, which I think is far more effective than trying to hold a little book in front of the class. So it's really cool. And also while you're reading a book such as this, you can teach kids certain things about some of the concepts. And here's some of my art as well. So I made a little book to show some of my art, but it also has some meaning behind it. For example, in this slide here, we're looking at symmetry and so on. And here we're looking at ripples in water and science, right? So, you know, having these books or things, picture books in your pack to enter a school is always a good thing. Another picture book such as Math Curse, these two authors, John and Lane, were fantastic. Their books are funny, they're intriguing, and they have a lot to say about math, science. The one that I really like is The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. It's a great one. By the way, pick it up. It's good for kids to see the wolf's point of view. Another thing that you can do in your your substitute kit is to do things where kids need to look closely. For example, if we look at the FedEx, we see that there's an arrow here. Of course, you're not going to show them the arrow. Ask kids to look at the logo and see what they see. But there was actually, we can see here on the back of this truck, there was actually an arrow put in there on purpose. If you're doing math and fractions, you can show kids things such as this. I just grabbed those off the internet and put them onto a slide. You can just copy them onto an 11 by 17 or an 8.5 by 11. Here's one. It's a great little mind trick where both of those tabletops are the same, but it's really hard to see. So optical illusions would be good. Let's continue on by taking a look at mental math, specifically giving kids a question such as this. 48 plus 52, have them do it quietly and then share how they solved it. That question alone is worth a half-hour discussion. It's incredible. Or how would they add up 999 plus 999? I have a video, by the way, that shows how to do that in a really cool way. Drawing. I love drawing myself, as you saw with the Yeti painting earlier. So you can give kids a drawing journal. Ask them to look through it. What might they be interested in? Why? And again, this is free on my website under free stuff, and there's lots of different ways here. In fact, you can use those ways if you're stuck in a class where the teacher hasn't been able to leave you anything to do for the day. Lots of great ideas to get you started. They're easy, they don't take a lot of resources, lots of fun. Then teaching kids how to draw. You can also teach kids how to draw the face. This is great for directed drawing. Directed drawing is good where you have a class where kids are a little bit anxious or a little bit talkative. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, but if you're a bit nervous about that, having kids do some directed drawing is great. And here's some samples of faces where there's some things wrong with them. And so you can take non-examples and show kids and get discussions going with kids on how these drawings could improve, or any concept you can use non-examples with. It's a great way to get kids to think of the opposite. It's fantastic. So again, another example here. And then radicalman.com, if you go to that website, it's fantastic. Lots of ideas. You don't have to be an amazing artist yourself, but again, really good things to do. Again, directed drawing, it gets the class calmed down, quieted. Again, there's lots of great things about talking. I want to encourage discussion, of course, but these are some things that you can do to help kids get some skills needed to draw. And finally, Bloom's Taxonomy. It's a little bit of a warning about Bloom's Taxonomy. I know every teacher college does it. The problem with it is most of us get stuck at knowledge if we think it's a pyramid like that. But Bloom's Taxonomy, there's a few things wrong with it. It's too precise. It's individualistic. What I prefer is this round one here where you can start anywhere. It doesn't start at one place. And there we go, zapple.ca. Thanks for watching.